I had sensed something was wrong long before the pictures began to appear on the wall. It all started with the late nights, the sudden meetings, and the eerie silence after she hung up the phone. Every conversation ended with, "I'll be home soon, love. Don't wait up." At first, I tried to dismiss the creeping feeling of doubt. We'd been married for 12 years, built a life together, a lovely home, careers that complemented each other, and even plans to travel now that our son had started college. Trust had always been the foundation of our relationship, or so I believed. But then, things began to shift. She came home smelling of a cologne I didn't recognize. She became more preoccupied with her appearance, spending hours in front of the mirror picking out clothes she hadn't worn in years. Her smile, the one that once lit up when she saw me, now seemed distant, forced. So I started paying closer attention. I told myself I wasn't paranoid, just observant. I checked the mileage on her car. I glanced at her phone when she wasn't looking, even though it felt wrong. Then there were the excuses: late work, a girls' night out, last-minute client dinners. Each one felt thinner than the last. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I began a plan. If she was deceiving me, I needed undeniable proof. That's when the photos came into play. It wasn't difficult to hire a private investigator. A few clicks online, a couple of emails, and soon I had a professional following her every move. Within days, the evidence started flooding in. Photos of her laughing with a man I had never seen before, a man with a perfectly groomed beard and an arrogance that jumped off the pictures. They weren't just having dinner. They were leaning into each other, her hand resting on his arm, their faces close, as if nothing else mattered in the world. The final blow came on a Saturday, when she said she had to fly out for a conference. The PI's camera captured her checking into a boutique hotel an hour away. The man joined her 20 minutes later. I won't delve into the details, but by then, I had everything I needed. For days, I couldn't think straight. I swung between fury and heartbreak. This woman, who had promised to stand by me through thick and thin, was sneaking around like a teenager. And for what? For him? I wasn't about to let this slide. If they wanted to destroy everything we had, I'd hand them the match and make sure they felt the heat. The idea came to me one night, as I stared at the photos spread out on my desk. Confronting her wasn't enough. I wanted her to see the wreckage she'd caused. I wanted her lover to feel the weight of his actions. I wanted them to know that neither of them would get away unscathed. I printed dozens of photos, choosing the most damning ones. The intimate dinners, the lingering embraces, the hotel check-in. I spent hours framing them, carefully selecting which ones would go where. When I was finished, the living room looked like a gallery. Each frame a testament to her betrayal, a shrine to the lies she told. When she walked in that night, I was sitting on the couch with a glass of whiskey in hand. She smiled, glowing for what she claimed was a late meeting. She didn't notice the photos at first, too busy kicking off her heels and putting her bag on the counter. "You're up late," she said, her voice light. "Everything okay?" I didn't answer. I just watched her. She turned toward the living room, and her gaze landed on the first photo. Then the next, and the next. Her smile faded. Her step slowed as she moved closer to the wall. She reached out, her fingers trembling as they brushed against a frame, as if touching it might erase it. What is this?" Her voice cracked, barely above a whisper. I stood up. "It's the truth. The truth you've been hiding. The truth you thought I'd never find out." Her face drained of color. "I can explain." I laughed, a cold, bitter sound that filled the room. "Explain?" "Oh, please. Go ahead. Explain why you've been sneaking around with him. Explain the lies, the nights I waited up, worrying something had happened to you. Explain all of it." Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't care anymore. Not after everything. "It wasn't serious," she stammered. "It was a mistake. A stupid, meaningless mistake." "Meaningless?" I stepped closer, my voice rising. "You call this meaningless?" I gestured toward the photos. "You don't get to downplay this. You don't get to act like it's nothing. You destroyed our marriage, our family. And for what? For him." Her lips quivered, but no words came. And then I dropped a bombshell. "You're not the only one I've spoken to," I said. "I paid him a visit." Her eyes widened. What did you do?" I smiled, a grim satisfaction flowing through me. I made sure he understood exactly what kind of man he is. I showed him the photos. I told him who I am. I told him what he'd done. And you know what he said? She shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "Nothing," I spat, "because cowards like him never have anything to say when they're caught. He begged me not to tell his wife." "What?" she gasped. "Oh, didn't you know?" I smiled again. "He's married. 2 kids. I've got her number. By the way, should I call her? Let her know what her husband's been up to?" "No," she sobbed, collapsing onto the couch. "Please don't. Don't ruin their lives." "Their lives?" I shouted. "You've got some nerve. You didn't care about their lives when you were sneaking around with him. You didn't care about our life, our marriage, our son. Why should I care about them?" For a moment, the only sound in the room was her sobbing. I stood there, fists clenched, my heart pounding in my chest. I wanted to scream, to break something, to make her feel even a fraction of the pain she caused. But instead, I took a deep breath and stepped back. "It's over," I said, my voice low but firm. "I've already contacted a lawyer. The divorce papers will be ready soon. You can keep this house for all I care. It's tainted now, just like you." She looked up at me, her face a mess of tears and regret. "Please don't do this. I'll do anything. I'll fix this. Just don't leave me." I shook my head. "You already left me the moment you chose him over us. You left, and there's no coming back from that." As I walked out of the room, I felt an odd sense of relief. The weight I had carried for weeks was gone. I wasn't the bad guy here. I wasn't the one who had broken our vows. And now I was free. Free to start over. Free to find someone who truly valued me. Free to rebuild my life on my terms. The photos stayed on the wall for a week, a haunting reminder of what she had thrown away. When I finally took them down, I didn't throw them out. I kept them tucked away in a box, not as a memento, but as a lesson about trust, betrayal, and the strength it takes to walk away from someone who doesn't deserve you.